Welcome back to Noir Alley. I am your host, Eddie Muller. A couple of months ago when I showed Kiss Me Deadly, I had as my guest the great Max Allan Collins, a prolific mystery writer and crime fiction historian. And we had such a good time that I promised Max that I'd get him back on the show. And today is the day for Born to Kill from RKO Pictures in 1947. Welcome back, Max.
Oh, I'm delighted to be here. This is one of my favorite noir films, and you might say Born to Kill is one of my guilty pleasures if I were capable of experiencing guilt.
I'm glad that we've established that, and now you're going to have to explain yourself, because this is tough sledding for 1947. I mean, this movie is really crazy. So let me hear it. Why do you like this so much?
Well, it seems to me there's kind of two noir paths. You have the private eye kind of path, the investigative kind of path, which we've seen with the Spillane and Chandler and Hammett adaptations. Then you have the James M. Cain world of Double Indemnity and Postal and Always Rings Twice. We have in the book Deadlier Than the Male, which is called Born to Kill on screen, you have the femme fatale essentially played by Lawrence Tierney. It's a flip. It's a flip. And so he's the menacing, evil, romantic figure. And I just love the upside down nature of that. I ran into it on late night TV one time years and years ago. And all I could think about is, what did they do in the theater when this one ran? Did they bolt out of the theater? Did the popcorn fly? I mean, did the girl say to the guy, what kind of movie did you take me to? I mean, it's so out there, and I love it. I just love it.
Yeah. So I know that you are familiar with the author of the novel, Deadlier Than the Male, James Gunn. Tell us something about his background.
The thing that's amazing to me is he wrote it published it at age 21. He was, I think, still in college, and really got good reviews and was thought to be, this is going to be the next Dashiell Hammett. This is going to be the next Raymond Chandler. And he got snapped up by Hollywood almost immediately. And he never wrote another novel. There's only this one novel, Deadlier Than the Male. And then when movies kind of hit the skids a little bit, when television came along, he's a guy that moved in and was writing Maverick and Sugarfoot and that kind of thing. That's happened to a lot of these screenwriters. And I think he died fairly young. So his legacy now, I think, goes all the way back to this first book he wrote, which is a pretty interesting book, and this movie, which has had kind of an amazing life, because it just thumbed its nose at all of us, didn't it?
Yes. And it is amazing to me that a movie this dark and this perverse is directed by Robert Wise. This was really Robert Wise's breakout film as a director, his first big feature film. And, you know, I knew Robert Wise a bit, and he was probably the sweetest man in the movie business. And the fact that he could so deftly handle this material tells you all you need to know about his directorial dexterity, shall we say.
It is mind-boggling, but it's an incredibly well-directed film, and it's very well acted, too. One of the people, maybe he even walks away with the film, is Elijah Cook Jr. I can't think of another performance. I mean, he always was good, but he really gets a chance to show his stuff. And he's incredibly sympathetic, and yet he's also a homicidal maniac when you get right down to it.
It is pretty remarkable. And yes, I'm glad you pointed out the acting in this, because it is stellar all the way through, from the actual ferocity of Lawrence Tierney to the woman who may be the grande dame of noir, Claire Trevor, who is just fantastic. She's been in so many terrific movies, you know, starting with Murder My Sweet, but then, you know, her noir resume, shall we say, is second to none. And this film is really at the top of the list. Anyway, this is really a remarkably dark and perverse film for any era. But that this was made in 1947 is kind of startling. If people have not seen this before, you are really in for something surprising, because it's going to get pretty hot and heavy on Noir Alley this week. So thank you much, Max. We'll be back, of course, at the end with some final thoughts about this. But right now, from 1947, RKO Radio Pictures presents Lawrence Tierney and Claire Trevor in Born to Kill.